Okay, so here we are on the Vakole co20 Max that was sent to me to review. So before we do a top speed test on this, we will just get a feel for the bike. Full hydraulic brakes, handlebars are really comfortable on this. So I'm just doing acceleration only. We are on gear 5 and it is using the front motor at the moment. Nice and smooth, no noise. Twist throttle, but the handle grips are actually quite wide, so it's actually quite a comfortable twist throttle for once. Bit of headwind today. We're also at 100% full battery. It has of course the full hydraulic brakes, wraparound front suspension, but it also has a really nice rear suspension, plus a nice modern LED display that I absolutely love. It has indicators, it has a horn, it has front lights, rear lights. Of course you can pedal it as normal, so it has 7 Shimano gears, so as you pedal it picks up the torque and then it assists you. So for example, I'm on gear 5 now pedaling and I'm on the Shimano gear number 7. So basically the harder you pedal, the faster the bike goes. So it's actually nice. You can get this with the torque sensor or the speed sensor. This is indeed the torque sensor. But the motors on this bike, to be honest, 750 watt on the front and in the rear. And I gotta say, it's really more than enough. Hill climbing ability on something like this would be literally no issue at all, like 0 issues. So I do actually like it so far, and it's comfortable, stable at high speeds. The display is quite modern. It's something I have never really seen compared to typical generic displays. Battery on this, 48 volts, 20 ampere hour battery. Whoa. So I've adjusted the saddle height. Yeah, much better actually. Much off the ground, higher off the ground. For off-roading, even though this bike is heavy, because of the power, the battery, the motors, the brakes, I think it'll absolutely handle like a dream. I reviewed a bike a while ago called the Vakole X3000 Max, which is similar spec, but it came at a much higher price. So this is kind of basically more or less the same spec, but it is a lot cheaper. So if you want something crazy, even if you're doing deliveries, this is definitely a bike for you. So I'll do a speed test now in a second, and then we'll see exactly what we can get. Okay, so here's the speed test. Dual motor. Oh, wheel spin. So we're on gear 5, dual motor, 93% battery. We're at 40 kilometers now. 42, 43, 45, 46, 47. So we're going 47 kilometers an hour. It's more than acceptable for a bike of this weight. Nice and smooth. Tires are obviously absolutely fantastic. Braking at this speed. Whoa! Whoa! I could have braked harder here, but I don't want to fall. So, ew. Braking's really nice. Front suspension does a fantastic job. You can lock the suspension if you want. So let's say you want to pedal with dual motor, not accelerating. Okay, the torque sensor is actually kicking in. 44, 45, 46, 47. Yeah, so basically it's the same. So if you want to conserve your battery, just pedal the bike. But the torque sensor is really nice. On some bikes they don't do a good job, but on this they actually do. So you're actually helping conserve the battery. Range on this can be up to like 120 kilometers. Of course, if you're pedaling, I think the acceleration was actually quite good. Let's do another wheel spin again. 1, 2, 3. Let's actually time, see how long it takes us to get up to, let's say, 40 kilometers an hour. Bit of an incline here, so let's have a quick look. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds to get to 40 kilometers and 11 seconds to actually get to 45 kilometers an hour. So there you go. You know, brilliant at that. The battery has dropped because I've been obviously wheel spinning this, so we're at 85%. But to be honest, yeah, it's brilliant. And it's good as well because you can switch between front motor or rear motor, so you can actually do whatever you want. If you want to have more of the control, I would recommend using a rear motor, to be honest. But again, it's entirely up to you, so you can customize it in that way. But the brakes are very good, controls are easy, lights are fantastic. There's no point in really doing a hill test on something like this, but you know, we'll do one. And anyway, just for the sake of the video. Woohoo! Okay. Right, so small hill here. Whoa! Whoa! Bike doesn't have a problem really with something with a hill, to be honest. Yeah, because of the torque, it's absolutely nuts. Hill here, can't see it on camera, but we'll give it a try. The torque might make a wheel spin. Whoa! There we go. Happy days. Whoa, perfect. Another kind of steep hill. Yeah, bike doesn't have a problem at all. It's just like eating up. Yeah, suspension is really nice. Actually, the rear suspension on this is very good because on the Vakole X3000 Max, it didn't have that kind of rear suspension, so it wasn't as soft going over bumps and things like that. So on this, yeah, it's actually really nice to have. Another steep bank here. Let's just kind of do it at a slower speed. Yeah. Easily 30 degrees that. And yeah, bike. So yeah, hill climbing, it eats the hills, it destroys them. I'm actually quite happy with the bike, to be honest. It's so comfortable as well, and it looks cool. But again, I was a bit skeptical about that twist throttle. But yeah, no issues at all. Extremely happy with that. And of course, even if you're racing, like on a track or something like that with your friends, because you have the crazy torque there and fantastic grip, going around bends like this is a really cool feeling. And the bike handles obviously amazingly well. So yeah, it's very nice, very nice. Of course, the battery on this is actually completely removable. Here we go. Yeah, off-roading capabilities of this would be really nice to see. Those dual motors are fantastic. If you have not ridden a dual motor e-bike or a dual motor scooter, well, you're missing out big time, because the power is just something else. The grip from these tires, whoa, here we go. It's just really nice. Yeah, boom. The only complaint is I have about something like this is the sheer weight of it, to be honest. All in all, extremely happy. So let me talk about what I like about the Vakole co20 Max and what I don't like about it, which is not much. Let's start. Now listen for a second. I had a bike a good while back on the channel called the Vakole X3000 Max. That is basically identical to this one, but it is a big difference, and I'm going to explain why in a second. A major difference actually. But let's talk about what I like about this fantastic e-bike. I mean, you gotta love these big huge 20-inch by 4-inch fat tires. They give you the traction, the cushioning there. Even if this didn't have suspension, these tires would do an amazing job, and they give you the confidence in stopping even in wet weather, and these would be absolutely fine for off-roading. But it's not just about the tyres. You have a 48 volt 20 amp hour Samsung battery on this that is removable. So if you're a bit tight for space at home, no problem at all. Just take the battery out, bring it inside, charge it, and then pop it back in the bike the next day. So for convenience factor, it's there. Now, one thing that I don't like about the bike, it is a tiny bit on the heavy side. It does, even though it does fold, but I guess even if you're lifting in the back of a car, you will struggle a little bit. But wait, let me show you the attention to detail that they actually included on this e-bike. Okay, coming up on top here, you have this display here. Change your gears, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 giving you the most power or pedal assist mode. You of course can change your motors, so you just hold down the middle button and you can change it to the rear motor. Hold it down, change it to the front motor if you want, or of course have both motors. Now on this e-bike, you do of course have a 750 watt motor in the front and in the back, giving you tremendous torque. You have a really nice big saddle here that is of course vented here to keep your bottom cool. You have a nice cushioning here. One thing I've never seen before as well is you actually have a really nice integrated light here, which is actually nice. Let me just turn it on. It flashes, or you can just keep it steady. So actually a really nice feature. Of course you have an additional light, and assembling this bike is an absolute piece of cake, because on the Lankalesi X3000 Max you had to assemble like the rear rack, you had to assemble a good few other things compared to this. So this is actually a piece of cake, to be honest. You have a really nice twist throttle here, plus really big grips, so it's actually quite comfortable on your hands. You have the fantastic full hydraulic brakes all around. Really big headlight as well coming up on top. And one of my favorite things about this is those huge brake discs, 180 millimeters, and they have to be around 3 to 4 millimeters thick at least. Those brakes as well, which are the X10, not familiar with them, but they provide tremendous stopping power on this. A really cool thing about this as well, compared to the X3000 Max, it actually has rear suspension, and the X3000 Max didn't actually have that. Of course you do have your front suspension as well on this, so yeah, absolutely brilliant. The look of the bike, really nice frame. Rack, the rear rack as well, by the way, can support actually 25 kilograms in weight. Mud guards are complete wraparound, so they should generally protect you from getting wet. And I'm not sure about the IP rating on this bike, but I'd imagine it's around IP54, which is okay for light rain, but of course be cautious. But what else do you get with this? Of course you get this fantastic bag here that also has the mirrors that I haven't installed yet. You get mirrors for the left and the right side of the bike, plus you get tools, a pump, and you also get, there's the mirrors there by the way, you also get the phone holder. And actually a really good thing about this as well, if you don't want this front suspension having any travel, you simply just lock it over and you don't have any travel at all, so it's more of a firmer ride. So it's each to their own. I prefer having the full travel on the suspension, you know. So yeah, it's your choice, whatever you want to do. You do also get a front basket with this bike. I haven't installed it, but it takes 2 seconds. There's only 2 screws here and that's it, away you go. For me, I don't really carry anything, but you do get it with the bike, so you know, it's a really good thing. And by the way, the stem on this bike is actually really nicely designed. You have this really good kind of clamping mechanism here that provides firm support, even going those higher speeds and taking this off-road. I can't imagine that would give you any issues at all. To take a look at the power on this e-bike is absolutely ridiculous. I'm on dual motor here, gear 5, we're at 82% battery, and just take a look. Whoa! I mean, it is absolutely sick power. Do you need that kind of power? Well, if you're going off-roading, you would actually need it because you need kind of the torque there. But even if you had this on gear 4 or gear 3, you still have more than enough there. So what's my verdict on the Vakole? Okay, let's break it down one more time. Portability, it does fold in half, so it's really nice. But of course, you need to take the weight into consideration there. So it's okay for portability. Safety wise, of course, you have the lights front, rear. You have full hydraulic brakes, so no issues there with safety. Comfort wise, you have that rear suspension plus that front suspension, so it is a very comfortable bike. But you do have those huge tires there as well that even provide more extra comfort, so it's pretty nice to ride. The design of the bike is absolutely fantastic, to be honest. Plus you get a lot of extras, but one of the good things about this bike is the price. But before I get to the price, let me just talk about who it's for. Okay, so taking the whole spec into consideration, this is for somebody who needs to carry a lot of things. This is for somebody who does deliveries. This is for somebody who needs to go long distances. And this is for somebody who needs to get there fast. Plus, it's for somebody that wants to go off-roading. This is not for somebody that is looking to just go from A to B, that's a few kilometers. And this is definitely not for somebody where you need to carry it up and down a few flights of stairs because of the weight. And it is a little bit awkward in saying that. But overall, it's a fantastic bike, and I would even recommend it for beginners because you can even go the slower speed of like 20 kilometers an hour, and you can only use one motor if you want. So it's up to you. Plus, if you live in a country where it is actually restricted by speed, you can simply lock this to 20 kilometers an hour or 25 kilometers an hour. So it's basically suitable for pretty much any country. Of course, do your own research, but it's an all-rounder e-bike. But price, hang on. I had the Vakole X3000 Max a good while back, and that bike, which is basically the same as this, but this is better because you have rear suspension, you get accessories with the bike, the display is really nice on this. This retails for around €1,700 give or take. The Vakole X3000 Max was well over €2,000. I think it was €2,500 from what I remember. So for almost €1,000 less, you're getting the exact same bike. I'm serious. So I think value for money, this is absolutely nuts, and it is linked below. Basically, it's a no-brainer, to be honest. If you're looking for an e-bike that has extreme torque, extreme power, I would definitely consider this one. It's an amazing bike. I absolutely love it. So in the meantime, if you have enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next video.